amarrar on the right hand side. Once we're secured, these gates will be closed behind us, trapping us inside a watertight chamber. No more water will escape out to the ocean. We're coming in at the lowest level possible, sea level, and we have to go up 2 steps in this lock to reach Lake Miraflores. Inside the wall, to our left and right, there's huge ducts or culverts, 18 feet in diameter, running the length of the structure from higher end ahead of us to lowest end here. If you were to look at a cross section of a wall, the culvert would look like a subway tunnel. That's how big they are. You can actually fit a locomotive through those easy. These culverts are linked 100 manhole type openings made out of chlorine chamber. Each opening is 4.5 feet in diameter, so they're pretty big manholes too. Through those, the water will come in or escape from the chamber. Steel valves are placed inside the culvert next to where the gates are located. We don't see the valves, this happens inside the wall, but these are guillotine type valves that are raised or lowered in the culvert so that the water can flow through or stop it. When they're through, next they'll open the valves ahead, and water will start transferring from the upper chamber at Lake Miraflores level into our chamber through the opening on the floor. You'll have nowhere else to go but up. The level in the chamber will rise 27 feet, while at the same time, the level at the other side of the gates ahead will be dropping 27 feet. And as they equalize on both sides of the gates, water will stop flowing. They'll open those gates in front and we'll move on to the next stage, having completed the first out of 3-step needed to get to Lake Gatna. Fair enough? Very simple really when you think about it. Nothing to get excited over, nothing to write home about. Just yet. Gates are closing behind us, folks. Se cierran las puertas detrás nuestro en este momento. It is simple physics after all. There is no. That's all I have to say. This is where I usually drop the mic, but I've broken too many of them before. Hacia la esclusa, alimentando imagen en vivo a la página de internet del canal de Panamá, www.
Voy a dejar.
Apenas ahora viene saliendo de la esclusa. Look on the left side, and you can see that the container ship that we saw earlier on the first chamber and Cocoli lock is just making its way out of the lock right now. While we're still here, there's still time for you to pose for the canal certificate pictures. Maybe you heard the initial announcement and thought it sounded lame. But if you you've seen the certificates we've handed out, you've seen how cool a souvenir this really turns out to be. It's a unique experience, and it's only $10. It's like one whack at the slot machine back at the hotel. Amigos, si no tuvieron la oportunidad de sacarse la foto para el certificado de tránsito, lo pueden hacer aquí en la parte de atrás en este momento antes que salgamos de la esclusa. No desaprovechen, esta es una oportunidad única. Separation movement, we became an independent country, and they negotiated that treaty with the newly formed government of Panama. They guaranteed the success of our separation by sending gunboats both coasts of the Isthmus of Panama, preventing the Colombian army to land troops. Panamá celebra su separación o su independencia. Llamado para el almuerzo, iniciando con los pasajeros consecutivos violeta o morado y el dorado, violeta o morado y dorado también. I don't think I'm the father. I tell you what, though, he needs to get some underwear on. That little peanut's scary. Somebody give him a peanut.
Monkey.
He took it already.
Give it to him. Stop teasing him. They're considered to be the most intelligent species of monkeys found in the Americas. That's why you see them a lot on movies, television, and they've even successfully run for political office in some countries. Now here is the adult male, and on the front of the boat we have the adult female. We have a 2-year-old offspring and a 6-year-old offspring. Females of this species reach sex maturity at age 4, with males at age 8. Females normally give birth to a single infant once every 2 years. Don't touch him, sir. He will bite you.
Really?
Yes. You don't think I make this up? Hey, you little guy. Hey. All right. Now they do have a vocabulary that they use to communicate with each other. For example, when they see watch your elbows.
Stuff, Charlie?
En el centro, evitando que el barco se golpee con las paredes de la esclusa. El trabajo de las locomotoras es mantener al barco en el centro. The ship is being assisted on either side by the electric locomotives or mules. Mules are attached to the ship by means of steel cables, holding the vessel in the center, avoiding a hit against the walls. The job of the locomotives is to keep the ships in the center of the lock.
Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean. That one day became a canal. But let's go back in time. In 1513, during the Spanish conquest of America, the natives of the area led Vasco Núñez de Balboa across the isthmus, straight to the South Sea. It was the first time a European sighted the Pacific Ocean. The advantages of establishing a transit route through the Isthmus of Panama were evident immediately. And it was there, on the Pacific coast, that the first town of the American continent was built. Over time, the road became a gold route. Between 1531 and 1660, 60% of all the gold that was shipped from the New World to Spain crossed the Isthmus of Panama. In 1821, Panama declared its independence from Spain, and following the leadership and vision of Simón Bolívar, voluntarily became part of the Gran Colombia. During the gold rush of 1848, Panama was the first passage for those who moved to California in search of fortune. Given the international economic and strategic potential of the route, and after signing an agreement with Colombia, France undertook in 1880 the construction of a sea-level canal through Panama. The renowned builder of the Suez Canal, Ferdinand de Lesseps, started a company to join the North Sea with the South Sea. In other words, the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. After 20 years of hard work, fighting an inhospitable climate, an indomitable jungle, disease, and financial problems, the French abandoned their titanic task. On November 3, 1903, Panama declared its separation from Colombia, the canal. Over a 10-year period, more than 55,000 men and women, mostly from the Antilles, constructed a work of colossal dimensions. On August 15, 1914, the Panama Canal began operations as the summit of the efforts of many years to join the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. And the path became a canal. From 1914, the United States operated and managed the canal, while governing the waterways surrounding areas. However, from the moment the agreement was signed, Panamanians demanded recognition of their sovereignty over its entire territory. The most critical milestone of the relations between the two countries took place on January 9, 1964, when Panamanian students raised their flag in the area under U.S. jurisdiction and caused riots that left a tragic toll on Panamanians. Finally, in 1977, the Torrijos-Carter treaties were signed, which recognized the sovereignty of Panama and set the transfer of the administration of the waterway to Panama for December 31st, 1999. The canal faces the challenge of having a more profitable operation. The aim is to generate constant benefit for the country and, at the same time, comply with the demands for its services. This impressive piece of engineering has 3 sets of locks: Gatun on the Atlantic, and Pedro Miguel and Miraflores in the Pacific. The lock system raises ships from sea level as true steps of water, both in the Atlantic and the Pacific side, to the level of the Gatun Lake, 26 meters above sea level, where they navigate through the canal watershed in the mountain range of Panama. It is important to note that this whole operation is performed under the principle of gravity. The Panama Canal hours a day, and from 35 to 40 ships transit every day on an 8 to 10 hour, 80-kilometer long journey. From 1914 to date, the canal has a record of more than 1 million transits. The need to expand the operational infrastructure of the waterway was an imminent fact, as larger locks were needed for larger vessels. Therefore, after several years of studies, the proposal for the canal expansion was presented to the country and approved by the majority of Panamanians in a national referendum. Expansion works formally began on September 3, 2007, in the Canal Bank community of Paraíso. The project consisted in the construction of 2 new sets of locks, one on the Pacific side and one on the Atlantic side, capable of accommodating more and bigger vessels. The new locks are 60% wider and 40% longer. They have a modern rolling gates system and 3 water-saving basins for chamber or level, contributing to save up to 7% of the water used. The construction of the Panama Canal third set of locks, which was executed in compliance with the greatest and strictest preservation and environmental protection standards, created new direct and indirect jobs. More than 37,000 Panamanians, with representation from all provinces and indigenous territories, worked day and night in the canal expansion works. More than 4.5 cubic meters of concrete were needed, and 150 million cubic meters of earth were excavated and dredged. Almost 200,000 tons of steel. The locks complexes were designed and constructed. The access and navigation channels were excavated and deepened. A titanic task with epic results.
Transit Trans, 1,000 feet. Postcode Shipping Panama. Good morning, check your radio.
Good morning, Saudi. On behalf of the Marine Traffic Control Center, we welcome the master and his crew to the inaugural transit of the expanded Panama Canal.
Very early, the morning of June 26, 2016, the container vessel Costco Shipping Panama made the inaugural transit through the third set of locks of the expanded canal. The canal seduces with its magnitude and modern engineering, but also for its efficiency and rigorous performance, which represents the talent and dedication of an entire country. When we accepted the challenge of managing the canal, we also committed to its continuous improvement. And so it was. Panama is a small country with big dreams, a country proud of its people, who work relying on the future and with a very specific responsibility to maintain the interoceanic route to the service of world trade. For this, the Panama Canal, the world's route. This is the Panama Canal.
Panama, thank you for your good wishes. And we'd like to congratulate all people, especially the Panama Canal Authority, and wish the canal and long-lasting prosperity. Thank you very much.